Hey everyone, hope you all are doing great and had a great weekend. Today is Monday, August 3rd. It is about 4 hours after market close. And I know it's been a few days since I made a video. The last video I made was about the Apple stock split. And I was meaning to create a video over the weekend about the previous week and how I ended the week. I just didn't get a chance to get to it and create a video for you guys. And this video is probably going to be pretty long, but I want to go over the profits I made last week, the gains from premium, as well as stock appreciation and the moves that I made, as well as the trades that I made today and what stocks I purchased, and just give you guys an update as well as a overview of what I have done and what I plan to do this week going on until the rest of the week. So first off, we're still getting pretty bad news about the coronavirus. Cases are continuously rising. I believe California hit 500,000 cases, and the news isn't looking that great with the virus. The only good news we got was the earnings of about three of the big tech companies last week, with Apple, Facebook, and Amazon beating their earnings, and that kind of boosted the markets a little bit. In the markets today, we can see that we had pretty much a mixed bag in terms of a green and red day. We can see that Microsoft, one of my holdings, is up 5.62%, and that was mostly due to the news about Microsoft purchasing TikTok over the weekend. And there was some speculation on whether that would be possible, even with Trump stating that they want to ban TikTok. But they still had a pretty green day, about 5.62% up. Apple had a green day as well. Their rally continued into today after their earnings last week, and they're up 2.52%. Amazon is down 1.67%, and we could see some of the semiconductors such as Nvidia, Qualcomm, and some of the other ones are having a green day as well. It's nice to see Intel having a pretty green day, 1.19% after their substantial drop last week. So overall, it seems like it's a pretty green day aside from a few companies, Google and Facebook. So jumping back to my portfolio here on Robinhood, you guys can see that today I'm up about 2.57%, about $1,258. After hours, we're down 0.16%, about $81. And I'm very excited about this. It's my first time hitting the $50,000 mark. I'm very happy about this, and hopefully I can continue making these gains week after week, month after month, and grow my portfolio to six figures. That's my next milestone for this portfolio. In the past week, you guys can see I'm up about $2,900, 6.14% precisely. The past month, I'm up 28.31, or about 6%. In the past 3 months, which is the most gains I've made, is 25%, which is about $10,000. In the past year, about $9,800, or about 24%. So I can show you guys how I ended the week. Let's start with going over the trades that I did make last week, and I can show you guys how I ended last week. So if we go to my past history and jumping to the option events, we can go back to, so you guys can see that pretty much all of my options expired worthless. I had a put on TNA. So with these puts, I actually was able to sell these cash secured puts because I purchased my contract with Win. And you guys can see with Win, I purchased back my contract for $10 here. And the reason for that was I saw an opportunity to sell cash secured put with Exxon, and TNA was just a little bit of a extra cash reserve that I had, so I ended up selling an extra cash secured put on TNA, and I got $15 there. And this is just my Google sheet where it's just a rough Google sheet to track the premiums that I am making. You guys can see that also expired worthless. Jumping back to the options history here, you guys can see that I also had a Microsoft call that also expired worthless. So with Win, the call also expired worthless, with MGM as well, and with Starbucks, which was a contract that I wrote not last week but the week prior. The big winner, you guys can see that I was called to sell my Facebook shares at the $240 strike price. So you guys might be wondering, since options are in 100 share increments and I sold at the $240 strike price, why am I not getting $24,000? Instead, it's showing $23,999.45. And this is basically because of the FINRA fees. So FINRA is a financial industry regulatory authority, which is just a private corporation, and what they do is they pretty much police or enforce rules for registered brokers such as Robinhood, and they're a non-government organization. They charge a very small fee, and that just covers costs dealing with supervising and regulating these firms such as Robinhood. So it's a very small percentage. Going back to my very rough Google sheet, I started selling options Monday of last week, which was July 27th, after tallying everything up, even with the buybacks to close my contract. You guys can see that I made $819 just in premium last week. And today I sold a couple options as well. I still have 100 shares of Microsoft. Sold a covered call with Microsoft at the $220 strike price, which is a price that Microsoft has yet to reach. Even in the peaks that we had in mid to early July, you guys can see that Microsoft only hit $215. So we'll see. This catalyst or the news about the TikTok purchase is kind of driving Microsoft shares higher, and we've hit an all-time high right now of 216, and I think during the day we even hit close to 217. Yeah, pretty close to 217, high 216s. So either way, if I get called to sell my Microsoft shares at the $220 strike price, I think I'd be pretty happy selling at that price, just because it's still about $4 away from that price, and I did earn about $1.52 per share, which equals about $152 in premium just in this contract. So a very nice premium with Microsoft. Going back here, you guys can see I also sold a put with Win, and I earned $111 with Win, selling a put, cash secured put, at the $68 strike price. It's pretty sideways to Green Day. We started about $71.85, had a small dip, and I was trying to sell puts during these dips that we had, but as soon as I would put my order in at a premium that I set, the shares of Win would rise and my order wouldn't get filled. So I kept canceling my orders with my contracts with Win and putting new orders in. Eventually, I believe midday. So I eventually got filled at 8:40 a.m. Looking at the past week, you guys can see that Win generally been hovering in the 70s. Last week it got to a high of about 77. I did sell a covered call at the, I believe, $80 strike price. So that contract did expire worthless, which is good for me. It just continues bringing down my average cost, and I just earn premium on the side while I hold on to my shares. Looking at the past month, again, the lowest that Win's got in the past month has been $69, and it would get into the mid to high 80s and just come back down, and it eventually found a bottom around $70 and pretty much trading sideways within the $70 price range, which is good for us just because when we are selling cash secured puts or covered calls, it helps with this sideways movement, helps retain our cash or stock and continue to earn premium in the meantime. The other option was a covered call that I sold with Win at the $80.50 strike price, and with that I earned about $60 in premium with that contract. Last week I had my Facebook shares called away last week at the $240 strike price. What I ended up doing is getting back into Facebook, bought 100 shares again of Facebook. My cost basis is about $251.85. I saw Facebook was in the red today, which was just a little odd for me, just because Facebook did pretty good in their earnings and they had that huge rally up. I didn't think we would get a red day today with Facebook, so I wanted to take advantage because I see Facebook continuing to rise. Facebook is not going anywhere. Very powerful social media platform. They own Instagram, WhatsApp, and they're increasing their revenues quarter by quarter, year after year. This is not something I would rely on, but I have read about numerous analysts giving a price target for Facebook in the mid to high 200s with Morningstar, which if you do have a Robinhood Gold account, this is included. You'll get the Morningstar report. You can see that they rated a fair value of 265, and with Facebook being in the low 250s, even not judging based off that one analyst report, I still think that Facebook should be valued at least in the 260s. So I ended up purchasing 100 shares and selling a covered call, and I earned $203 in premium. This contract is worth $189 right now, so I'm up about $14, which is nice to see. The other new contract is with Uber, which I sold a $28 put, and this was last week. I believe I wrote this on Friday, and I earned $50 in premium with this contract being worth $32. I'm up $18 or 36%. Very nice. Uber is reporting their earnings. Their earnings is coming out later this week, so they are going to be releasing that August 6th, and we'll see how Uber reacts. I am anticipating Uber is going to have pretty good earnings just with the shutdown that we had and everything going on with the pandemic. I expect the revenue with Uber Eats to grow, and I'm waiting for the prices of Uber to rise either tomorrow or after tomorrow. With that happening, I plan to sell a covered call with Uber as well and earn some juicy premium. So that's with my contracts and options from last week and this week. Tallying everything up, last week I earned $819 in premium selling options, and just today I have earned $535 in premium. I do want to give you guys an update on how much I have made just in premium selling options since I started in early June, and I'm going to create a video covering that. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I definitely recommend it so you can stay up to date on when I release that video, and also hit the notification so YouTube will alert you when I do release that video. But if we add up the premiums that I've earned last week and this week, you can see that I've made a total of $1,354. That does not include the appreciation of stock, which with Facebook I can show you guys is $692. I've made well over $2,000 just selling premium in the past 2 weeks, and including the stock appreciation with Facebook. I have owned Facebook, or I have swing traded Facebook in the past. We had a dip a few weeks ago, which was a really good opportunity to get Facebook very cheaply, and I made $693 from that trade, from that swing trade. If you guys can tell, I've also sold my MFA stock, which I had a cost basis of $2.41 for my 5,200 shares. That has brought in a gain of $780. I was planning to hold MFA longer, but I saw there wasn't too much movement in the stock, so I wanted to free up some of that capital and put it to better use and trade it with more active stocks and options. And in the future, I might be looking into getting back into MFA, but we'll see if MFA gets back to the cost basis that I used to own them at. They're currently trading at $264, and I have 2 options with them, which do earn pretty good premium, I do have to say. The last thing I want to mention is I did end up purchasing more Apple shares. In my prior video, I talked about the amazing earnings that Apple had and their announcement of the 4-to-1 stock split. So I mentioned that I want to purchase more Apple shares, and I did end up purchasing more today as well as on Friday. So you guys can see I did end up purchasing more shares here, and I plan to continue to purchase more shares of Apple. Currently have 11 shares with a cost basis of $424.31, and I'm just going to average down or average up depending on how the stock is trading. My end goal for these next few weeks is to have at least 25 shares, so when we do end up getting the split for Apple, my 25 shares will end up being 100 shares, and I'll be able to sell covered calls, and I'm looking forward to that. So that's all I had for this video. Sorry I couldn't get a video out to you guys over the weekend, but I wanted to create this update video as well as the plays that I made today. But I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you guys are also making very nice gains in the market, being profitable. If you guys enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel. I really love making these videos for you guys, and I want to continue to do so. If you have any feedback or opinions on any topics you want covered, or any stocks specifically you would like me to talk about, or options, or any strategies, feel free to let me know in the comments below. I want to get more involved with you guys, and I will answer every and any comment that you guys post below. And if you found the video helpful, feel free to give it a like. Hope you guys are safe, doing well. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.